Tucked away deep in the English countryside is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. Monkey World provides a home for more than 260 different apes, monkeys and prosimians who've been rescued from all around the world.
Hi, do you remember?
At the heart of the 65-acre sanctuary is the park's pride and joy, a state-of-the-art orangutan nursery. It's the place where little hearts are mended and broken lives are rebuilt through friendships and foster mums. Dr. Alison Cronin is the park's director, and she's worked with orangutans for close to 30 years.
Orangutans are fantastic. They're so cerebral, they think about everything. Other apes are also very intelligent, but orangutans have really refined it. They're also beautiful. Each individual is so incredibly different. Like so many species of primate, orangutans are under threat, and all species of orangutan are listed as critically endangered now.
In 2005, Monkey World became the home of the European Creche for Orphaned Orangutans.
It is actually a huge responsibility for the park because it means we have to be ready at any day of the week in order to receive a new and very vulnerable orphan orangutan. And when they're orphaned, it's emotionally upsetting for a baby, but also they often come with physical ailments and problems as well. And orangutans are very delicate. They're not as hardy and robust as chimpanzee babies, for example. So each one comes with its own sort of bundle of issues, and we have to be prepared to field all of that at any time.
Since opening its doors, the creche has taken on 12 vulnerable orphans.
There's a lot.
Each charismatic little character arrives with their own particular set of needs. And it's up to the primate care team to help these tiny tots take their first steps towards a happy and healthy life. But the creche isn't just about caring for lovable little orangs. It was set up by Monkey World to solve a big problem. It's an issue Alison first encountered when she and her late husband Jim Cronin began working with orangutans from Asia.
Hey, Roro.
The pair travelled to Ping Tung Rescue Centre in Taiwan to collaborate with Dr. Curtis Pei, who ran the facility.
She came here 2 years ago from Nantou, the central part of Taiwan.
All of the rescued orangutans at Ping Tung had been stolen from the wild and sold into the pet and entertainment trade. But the rescue centre was rapidly running out of room.
We agreed to start rehoming adult orangutans that had been confiscated in Taiwan as part of a black market trade. But that meant that we started getting in female orangutans who themselves were, of course, orphans. And when we did allow some of those individuals to breed, it became very clear that they weren't necessarily good mothers.
She's ready, she's going.
The first baby who was born here from the Taiwanese rescues was a little girl called Xiao Ning, and that was Roro's first birth. And, you know, Xiao Ning was very needy. It was a bit of a voyage of discovery for us.
Roro refused to feed her daughter Xiao Ning, so the team had to step in and take over parenting duties.
There you go. That's what you wanted, I hope.
But Roro wasn't the only one. Others like Amy and Xiao Lan, who were orphaned as infants, became mothers who abandoned their newborns.
There was a pattern. If you're an orphan, odds are you're going to grow up to be a terrible mom yourself.
As the team began to care for Roro's rejected baby, Xiao Ning,
Yes, I know, I've got you.
Alison became aware that humans could only do so much for these little orphans.
Very quickly, we were learning that we weren't really enough. We couldn't provide enough support emotionally or physically to those infants. So the goal is always to get those infants back in with the other orangutans, even though we still need to feed them milk. Their mothers are gone. So we're still involved with them, but their main point of reference 24 hours a day is living with other orangutans, and to set up a situation where we could break the cycle of abandonment so that they grew up to be sociable, caring, and understanding mums themselves. And that's how the orangutan nursery got started at Monkey World.
Yes, you are. You're a bit of a monster.
Little Xiao Ning, whose name means sunrise, was not only the first baby orang to enter the creche, she was also the inspiration behind it.
Come on, let's go right up. Hey.
The team was desperate for her to grow up with members of her own kind. So, while she was learning how to be more agile, behind the scenes, Monkey World was preparing for other orphans to arrive. The first was a cheeky little chap called Aris. Having been rejected by his mother, Aris was moved to Stuttgart Zoo, where he lived with a very boisterous bunch of baby gorillas. As soon as Monkey World opened the creche, Aris was given a one-way ticket to the new nursery.
Yeah.
A year later, he was joined by Jolie, a little orphan from Moscow Zoo.
I know you have such a big mouth, and those teeth are so strong.
Jolie flew to the UK with keeper Mike. And for the first time ever, a baby orang was allowed a seat inside the main cabin.
It's all going well, so fingers crossed for a safe journey and a happy landing. Monkey World, here we come.
After that, little Linga arrived from Paris.
Oi, what are you doing? My bag.
Before long, the creche was a melting pot of adorable orange infants from across Europe and beyond.
When we first got started, it hadn't really dawned on us on how many orphans there might be, how needy they were going to be, and how successful our whole plan was going to be. So we needed a more substantial building.
Work began on a larger state-of-the-art enclosure.
Wow.
With separate bedrooms, playrooms, and a myriad of tunnels, all designed to meet the infant's every developmental need. 6 months of labour and one very expensive mistake later, the park boasts one of the most advanced primate nurseries on the planet. At the core of the creche are 2 giant play areas fitted with hoses and climbing frames to keep these little great apes moving. The ultimate goal is to get the orphans to develop strong social bonds with other orangutans.
Okay, we're all set.
And just like human babies, there's no better way to do that than with play. To encourage their games, the team provides colourful toys. Now, all these little ones have to worry about is having fun and making friends. A year after the new nursery was built, Jeremy travelled to Santillana Zoo in Spain to meet a very special little hooligan in need of a new home.
Hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Are you right? What are you doing? I like your haircut. Goodness me. You're very handsome, Bruce. He says, yes, I know. You know, don't you? You're a good boy.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Sylvester has been looked after by staff at the zoo since he was rejected by his mother 11 months ago. They've given him his very own playroom next door to his siblings. And Jeremy has decided this is the best place to get to know him.
Is this an aerial attack? Yes, it is. I thought it was. Obviously, we didn't know what we were going to find with Sylvester, and they've clearly done a really good job rearing him. He's obviously been brought up not focusing on one person. The thing that always goes wrong with rearing orangs, and I've done it myself with Amy, is if they only have the one person looking after them, then they just totally depend on that, and it's a nightmare, and it doesn't do anybody any good. Whereas if they'll, you know, been happy to go to anybody, it's really nice for him, and a lot makes our life a lot easier. Don't you bite me, you bad boy. There's a spot right between an orangutan's shoulder blades. If you touch it, they just fall apart. They can't cope. They go all like this.
As a Sumatran orangutan, Sylvester is a little different from all the other orangs at Monkey World who are Bornean.
Sumatran orangs are markedly more sociable with other orangs than what Borneans are. So that's probably why he's taken to somebody he doesn't know so easily.
Jeremy and Sylvester have hit it off, but no one knows how the other orphans at Monkey World will react to the newcomer. In Spain, Jeremy is on the late shift with Sylvester, but it's been a while since he's been on bottle feeding duty.
Just trying to see whether he'll take a bottle from me. Here you go. Is that all right? When you're hungry enough, it's not so bad, is it? Don't choke. Don't choke. Have you done? Yeah, done choking. It's important that he learns that, you know, that me, somebody else is going to feed him other than the people that he's used to. And particularly orangs get very fixated on one person feeding them. And an orang is so mother-dependent, even more than a chimp or a gorilla, because they only see their mothers. I mean, being a more solitary animal, and there is very little interaction between anybody else other than your mother, and that's okay until there comes a time when that person isn't there anymore.
With Sylvester fed, Jeremy turns his attention to the rest of the nighttime routine.
Right, watch this. Good boy. Quickly. You go off with one and on with the other. Quick as that. I always say if you can get a nappy on an orangutan, you can do pretty well anything. That's it. All done. Yeah. Come on. Come on, we're going back. We're going to bed now.
Sylvester will need a good night's sleep because tomorrow is the start of a very exciting journey. The following day, Jeremy, Sylvester and his carer Maribel waste no time getting on the road to Monkey World.
He's fine, couldn't care less. You're not bothered, are you? Wait, Sylvester? No.
Sylvester's departure has attracted a lot of attention from the press. Usually, primates are transported in crates in the cargo area. But Sylvester is so small, this little VIP has been granted special permission to travel in one of the cabins on the ferry. The journey home will take approximately 20 hours. It's a long time to keep a baby orang amused, and Sylvester soon has the upper hand.
Right, we're going to see if we can use the climbing frame that we've just constructed for you to enable us to put a nappy. Yeah, just stay there. Look, this is good. We could market this. We've got an escape monkey. Where's that dart gun?
It seems Jeremy's success with nappies last night was a bit of a fluke.
It's going to be a very long battle. I concede. I give in. There. Just leave that on now, OK? That is a very bad idea. That is a terrible idea.
But Sylvester won't need nappies for much longer.
He's at that age now that really putting the nappy on is a gesture. Well, he's got probably 12 hours left of wearing nappies, or less than that. And then nappies will be no more.
When Sylvester arrives at Monkey World, he'll be joining 3 other orphans: Jolie, Linga, and Dinda. To keep these little hooligans in line at all times, the nursery has at least one mature female who takes on the role of matriarch. Their job is to watch over the infants, just like a mother would in the wild.
Orangutans, they have actually the longest childhood out of any non-human primate. So that approximately 7 years, a young orangutan will stay with its mother. Over the years, we've had a couple of different females who have taken on the maternal role in the orangutan nursery, but currently it's just Oisin.
Before Oisin became a foster mum, she led a very different life.
You know, Oisin is probably one of our most unique orangutans in that her background and experience in the pet trade was so extreme.
Oisin spent the first 13 years of her life living as a pet in South Africa. Her owner, Brenda, adored her and treated her like her own child. But Oisin had Brenda wrapped around her little finger and knew exactly how to get her own way.
What do you want?
In the kitchen was where this demanding young lady caused the most chaos.
That's the dog's food. That's the mama's food, sis, man. Come. Of course it's Puffy. Let's go. What do you want? Yeah. Okay, here's your custard.
Over the years, Oisin had put on so much weight, she'd become morbidly obese.
When she's eating, that's all she worries about. If she could eat all day, she would eat all day.
And, living as a pet, she had no idea she was an orangutan.
She was so humanized and so used to, you know, going down and working with tools and watching animal boxes being built or working on a farm that she had no clue about life as an orangutan.
When Brenda realized Oisin desperately needed help and the company of other orangutans, she reached out to Monkey World.
I just want her to be happy. I want her to be with her own kind, and I'd like her to have her own family, a baby of her own, and start living like an orangutan.
Although Brenda knew it was for the best, sending Oisin to Monkey World was still a major upheaval for the family.
Mummy's here, darling. Although it's killing me, I have to think of her and to stop being selfish.
Russell, Brenda's son, also felt it was the right decision.
She deserves to be with her own kind, to start her own family. She's always broody. You know, children come along and she grabs them and mothers them, and I know she's really going to be upset, but it's for the good of Oisin.
Since arriving at Monkey World, Oisin has been put on a more appropriate diet, and she's taken her place alongside Ame as one of the nursery's foster mums. So far, Oisin has been slow to embrace her new role. But with Sylvester about to join the creche, the team is hoping that will soon change. Darkness has fallen by the time the Spanish contingency reaches the park. Most of the orangs have already gone to sleep, but Jolie is still awake and curious to meet the newcomer.
Oh, Jolie, what do you think? Hello, how are you?
It's been a long journey for everybody along with Sylvester, and we'll just get him settled down in the bedroom. Jeremy's going to actually stay the night with him in the house, just in case he wakes up in the middle of the night and isn't sure where he is.
Maribel gives Sylvester his last feed of the day. Tomorrow, the introductions will begin. But for now, Sylvester can enjoy his first taste of toddler freedom.
Freedom from nappies. No more nappies.
The next morning, it's time for Sylvester to start meeting the rest of the nursery crew. Jeremy wants to do it gradually.
I reckon that Dinda and Linga will be the best first new companions.
Linga and Dinda are best buddies. Like Sylvester, they were also rejected by their mothers, who refused to feed them. Dinda was born at the park, and Linga came from a zoo in France.
Well, they seem very interested, and they have been since he arrived last night. If I was them, I'd come straight over and give him a cuddle, so we're hopeful.
They may be curious, but at this age, infants can take a while to warm up to newcomers.
Linga, Linga.
Come on.
Linga approaches first.
Hello. I thought Tinder would be first out of the way.
But she decides he's better kept at arm's length.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm right behind you. Honest.
It's sociable Sylvester who offers the hand of friendship. Despite being outnumbered, he bravely follows the girls into their bedroom, egged on by Jeremy.
I'm with you, boy. Right behind you.
But they're sticking together. On home turf, these youngsters are a tad territorial.
Push him off. Oi, oi. Stop it.
Sylvester is oblivious to Linga's mood, so she has another little pop at him.
Stop it. No.
Realising she won't get anywhere with Jeremy on guard, Linga plays the temper tantrum card instead. With his interest piqued, Sylvester follows her with his personal bodyguard in tow.
He's behaving much better than those two, actually, particularly Linga. The time he spent with his sisters is standing him in good stead because it's, you know, he knows what an orang is. He's now got to learn new characters.
It was a slow start, but within a few short weeks, Sylvester had found his feet, and this sociable chap had won over the whole creche.
He's gregarious, he's open-minded, he's not introverted and frightened of new things. Whenever he meets anybody new, human or orangutan, out comes the hand to say hello.
And just as the team hoped, this lovable little orang was a big hit with one of the nursery's fussier foster mums, Oisin.
She was a little bit unsure at first. She really just didn't know what to do with Sylvester. But what was clear is what we've always known about Oisin. She's actually got a really lovely temperament inside of that big body of hers. And once, you know, we took things slowly and she could see that he wasn't going to be a challenge or a threat to her, she welcomed him with open arms.
Life at the nursery was going better than anyone expected. But around the corner were a new set of challenges and a difficult first for the team at Monkey World. The orangutan creche is always prepared for new arrivals. But today is the first day one of their beloved orphans is leaving home. Xiao Ning was the very first infant to join the nursery. But at 9 years old, the time has come for her to graduate into an adult group.
One of the first times ever that we've sent an orangutan away from the park, and we've actually found a really good home for Xiao Ning in a place that can offer more than we can at present. So that's a very young and small group of her own. So she'll be with a young male her own age and with one other female her own age, and that's it.
To make room for other vulnerable orphans at the nursery, Xiao Ning is moving to a new centre in Rostock, Germany. It will be a big step for her and a huge wrench for the team.
I'm going to be really, really sad to lose Xiao Ning. I mean, she is a real personality and a great character in this group, and worked with her for quite a few years now. But all the same, she'll be a lot happier when she does finally meet the other guys over in Germany.
For the last few weeks, the team has been training Xiao Ning to walk into her travel crate for the big move.
You gonna come and take an interest in the box?
To start with, Xiao Ning was having none of it. But eventually she realised there was nothing to be frightened of.
Click when she gets in.
Let me see.
Good girl, Xiao Ning. Wow, she's doing really well.
Yummy. Yum, 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 yum.
Xiao Ning doesn't realise it, but over the past week or so, she's been trained to go into her travelling box, and in the next half hour, we're boxing her up and she's heading out to Germany to start a new life with 2 others.
Everyone bar Kate and Lewis leave. so it's like a normal crate training day.
You guys all ready to go as and when?
But Xiao Ning can be unpredictable, and there's no telling if she'll go into the crate voluntarily. To everyone's relief, she makes her way straight in, and today, there's no going back.
Good girl.
Good girl, Shannon.
Sounded right. These guys have done an absolutely brilliant job because tricking an orangutan to catching them out in the box is not an easy task, not any time.
This is the first time an orphan has had to leave the park, and now Alison and the team must say their goodbyes.
It would be selfish for us just to keep her here because we love her. It's time for her to have a group of her own and to graduate from being just around the babies. So it's a good thing, but of course, yeah, terribly sort of upset and worried for her.
Right, now come forward.
Good girl. Yeah, you feel quite protective over them, but at the same time, it's what they need. So her graduation was a big step for us. Safe journey, guys.
Xiao Ning's departure was tough on the team, but it wouldn't be long before they were taking on their next challenge. In the Hungarian capital of Budapest, another little great ape is in need of Monkey World's help. His name is Bulu Mata, which means eyelashes. For the last 3 months, this little Sumatran orangutan has been hand-reared because, tragically, his mother passed away just a few days after he was born. He's had a rough start in life, but the team at Budapest Zoo is hoping Monkey World will help this little lad turn a corner.
We had a contact with Monkey World, and I was very, very pleased to get a very, very positive answer that they are really ready to receive this animal. It's very important that he can meet other young orangs and possibly foster mothers.
The keepers at the zoo have been socialising Bulu with his dad and sister as much as possible, so that he doesn't become too human-focused.
We hope that it will help him during the introduction process in Monkey World. He can smell, the others can a little bit touch him, he can feel an orang. So for the future perspective, I think it's going to be very, very hopeful.
The following day, it's time for Bulu Mata to make the big move to Monkey World. At 3 months old, he's still very dependent on others for full-time care. With that in mind, the team is hoping Xiao Kuai, one of the park's most experienced mums, will take Bulu on as her own. Xiao Kuai adopted orphan Awan, so she's a strong candidate. Bulu has arrived at the nursery with his carer Bernadette.
We'll give it a go. It's the first day, you know, and he's traveled a long way and everybody's a little bit tired, but sometimes you're better taking advantage of the disarray and the confusion and, oh, I'm being scooped up by a new mother orangutan. And let's see how we go.
Bulu is brought straight over to Xiao Kuai. She reaches out to touch his little fingers, so it's a good start. Bulu also gets a chance to say hello to Oshin and Sylvester while he's there. Xiao Kuai and her adopted daughter Awan watch with interest as Bulu is placed in the bedroom opposite them. The moment of truth. The team are all hoping Xiao Kuai will bundle this vulnerable little orang into her arms. She heads straight in to see him.
Good girl.
Bulu is squeaking because he wants to be cuddled. But Xiao Kuai keeps her distance. Once she's had a look at Bulu, she heads back.
There you go. An orange person. Yes. Oh, it's all good again.
Animal manager Jeremy comforts the little orang. The team gave Xiao Kuai every opportunity they could to bond with Bulu, But it soon became clear she wasn't up to the task of being mum, as she was already caring for Awan. That job would now fall to the primate care team. A few weeks on, and baby Bulu is settling in well to his new life at the creche.
Come on now.
For the primate care team, looking after this little munchkin is a round-the-clock job. But to make sure Bulu doesn't get too attached to any one person, there's a small group of 4 carers who are dedicated to him. This will make it easier when they eventually move him in with the other orangs.
He's still not able to even stand for himself, he can't even sit for himself. He's quite clumsy still, so not very mobile yet. And yeah, that's the reason why we are actually hand-rearing him now.
The staff want to familiarise him with his future housemates, so he spends most of his time at the nursery. But today, it's time for a new challenge. The team is preparing a special playroom to help encourage him to be more mobile. With lots of hoses to hang on to, it should also help his strength and coordination. Alison has come along to check how he's getting on.
This is Bulu Mata, all grown up, well, at least getting there. You can see he's really developed over the past few weeks. His hand-eye coordination is amazing, his strength is great, and he's using his hands and his feet equally. So he's really progressing quite quickly now, so hence the new nursery playroom.
Play sessions like this are really important for Bulu and will help him cope with the more boisterous orangs when he joins the nursery full-time.
He should be with his mother 24/7. And in the absence of his mum, that falls down to us. So sort of interacting with him and making direct eye contact and letting him know that he's loved and looked after and he can rely upon us is absolutely critical to his development, to being well-adjusted and contented.
Alison is keen for Bulu to progress to the next phase in his development because things at the creche are about to change. At Berlin Zoo in Germany, a baby orang was born just 6 weeks ago. Keepers there named her Rika, and she weighed a healthy 4 pounds. But sadly, Rika's mum, who'd never had a baby before, didn't bond with her and ended up rejecting the little orang. The team at Berlin Zoo had to take over and are now hand-rearing her.
The major goal is that she is not getting used to humans in the long run, but that we find a way to bring her as fast as possible in a surrounding where she can live with other Sumatran orangutans in a group.
After hearing about Bulu, the Berlin team has decided Monkey World would be the perfect place for Rika to grow up too.
We're happy that we found in Monkey World the perfect place where she can live together with a newborn Sumatran orangutan that is only 4 months older.
It's taken several weeks to coordinate the move, but at last the day has come for Rika to join the creche. The orang team are up late and excited to welcome the new arrival, who they hope will be a great playmate for baby Bulu.
We're just waiting the last final few minutes for a new arrival, which is little baby Rika from Zoo Berlin. They left at 3 o'clock in the morning from Berlin, and it's gonna be probably about a 15, 16-hour trip to get all the way here to Dorset.
The journey has gone to plan, and Rika is due at any moment. They're just hoping Bulu will stay awake long enough to say hello.
Sort of exciting, 2 baby orangutans, boy and girl, Sumatran orphans. So, you know, tragic, it's really sort of mixed emotions. Happy that we're able to help them out and do the right thing for them, but how sad that these little guys aren't with their mothers.
Finally, the wait is over.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Andre.
I'm Andre.
The teams would like the babies to meet tonight before they sleep. Rika is only 6 weeks old and is much smaller than Bulu.
Wow. Tiny, tiny.
Rika is surprisingly awake after her long journey and immediately shows an interest in Bulu. To the team's delight, he seems quite curious about Rika too.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So far, so good. It looks like Bulu and Rika are off to a great start. But only time will tell if these tiny tots will get along. For now, everyone needs a good rest. The next few months are going to be full on at the creche. It's early morning, and most of the residents of Monkey World are still asleep. But new arrival baby Rika is wide awake and hungry. Keeper Kate is on duty, and she's had a busy night.
She was up about 3 a.m. this morning, and then she went pretty much straight down, and then she's woke up again now, and it's about 6, so not too bad. She actually feeds really, really well. We do have to slow her down slightly, just because she tends to have quite a lot of wind because she drinks so quickly. So we like to burp her in the middle. Sometimes she doesn't like you doing it. She wants to carry on drinking.
Even at her young age, she's already showing her character.
She's a typical woman, quite opinionated, knows what she wants, and she'll let me know if there's anything wrong. So, tiny drop of wee in her nappy, she wants it changed.
Looking after one orange hooligan is tough enough. But Kate's taking care of baby Bulu too.
It's a very demanding job looking after 2 babies at the same time, especially as they're at different ages. So she's at the age where she's being fed every 3 to 4 hours. He's being fed every 4 hours, but he'll down a bottle pretty quickly and then just get on with his life. He's always been a gulper, drinks the whole thing in one go, don't you?
Together, Bulu and Rika are getting through more than 15 nappies a day.
This is I'm going to the toilet face. And he has, you can tell. Are you stinky?
Changing an orangutan's nappy takes a lot of patience.
Are you going to sit still today?
And ninja-like reflexes.
No, Billy, you have to sit down, buddy. I would liken it to having twins, I think, caring for these 2.
And then we make you like a sausage roll. Ready. You make that go a minute. Have you peed again?
A year later, the pair were out of nappies and up to no good in their very own playroom.
For Rika, it's really good having a little orangutan that's a bit older, just a bit older than her. She follows Bulu around. If Bulu climbs up high, even if it's a bit scary for Rika, she will follow him. But Rika is braver than Bulu. She's catching up. They pretty much spend the whole day together, and they don't really need us that much. They find each other hilarious, so they spend their days doing this and jumping on top of each other and playing around.
Just as the team had hoped, this dynamic little duo became the closest of companions, tackling every new challenge together.
Come on, Ricky. Boo-boo. Come on.
Slowly but surely, they were introduced to the rest of the nursery group. Despite their difficult start in life, Rika and Bulu had survived. Now they had a whole new family group to call their own. For more than a decade, Monkey World has acted as the European creche for orphaned orangutans. In 2017, the team received some very encouraging news. It was the first clear evidence that their hard work was paying off. Xiao Ning the very first orphan to graduate from the creche, had given birth.
We've just been contacted by Rostock Zoo, where Xiaoning and also her sister Dinda moved to a couple of years ago now. Not only was Xiaoning pregnant, she's now given birth to what is a beautiful baby girl, and most importantly, she's looking after it. And I'm like even getting goosebumps as I'm saying it, because the one thing that we know about orangutans is that if they're orphans themselves, odds are they're not going to look after their own babies. And that's exactly why the orangutan creche here at the park was set up, is to try and break that cycle of abandonment. And I've seen video clips, I've seen photographs. She's just a doting, lovely, beautiful, perfect mother. And it's everything that we wanted here at the park.
For everyone involved, it was a huge achievement. Xiaoning was the first female to break the cycle of abandonment. But when Xiaoning's sister Dinda became pregnant a year later, everyone held their breath.
Sure enough, Dinda also fell pregnant and also had a perfect pregnancy and birth and looked after her baby perfectly. So 2 for 2.
Both mothers had been orphans, but thanks to the Orang creche, they were able to bond with and look after their babies. It was a significant moment for the park and testament to the work they do.
It's been 15 years. We've had 6 individuals now graduate from our orangutan nursery and go off to start their new lives. I guess what I'm pleased and happy about, it isn't just about those little orphan girls who we want to go on and be good mums. Those little boys that are growing up in that nursery are coming away with an incredible raft of knowledge and understanding of the ladies. Sylvester has gone from a tiny, vulnerable infant into being one of the most gorgeous men on the planet in terms of orangutans. And also giving those matriarchs, some of whom we've rescued from illegal trade, some of the love that they deserve back in their lives in terms of being able to look after the infants. So I think it's ticked an awful lot of boxes more than we had even intended or planned. I'm still reluctant to say that we've got it cracked, but I think we're on the right track.
And that's just as well, because the next Orange Hooligan is already on their way.